Welcome back to Black Robot. Today, we are diving into one of the most important topics in C programming, variables and data types. So, I have a quick question here. If you had to store your age, your grade in a subject, and the value of pi, would you use the same kind of variable for all three? Hmm, think about it. Let's find out. So, here we will be learning about variable and data types, which we are going to use into the C. So, what is variable? Variables are like containers that hold the data. Data types define what kind of data those containers can hold. Without them, you can't do programming. Okay. So think of variable as a boxes and data types as the labels. Age goes in the integer box, grade in the character box, pi in the float box. So suppose you are having three boxes. So there is int, sorry, there is int, this character, and this is float. So is big is as it is number, it will go to the integer. So grade is the character and float is the pi because it's a floating point value. So it will go into the float box. So what is a variable? A variable is a named memory location. So if you're seeing here age, here 25 int value, which is storing into the age variable. So this means if you are creating a box name as a age, so label it as an integer. So we are labeling as age as an integer and storing 25 into int here. So can you imagine what would happen if we didn't have labels in this one? We would never know what's inside the box, right? So each variable has a type, name, and value. So we can, store, modify, and retrieve those data from those variable as well. So declaration versus initialization. Declaration. What is declaration here? It's telling the compiler what type of box you want. So it means it defines the variable type and name. And what is initialization? Putting something inside that box. It means whatever the value is there, it assigns into that box. I mean, it's a initial value. If you're seeing here, we are doing the declaration int x, where int is a label here, x is the variable. Here 10 we are storing into the x and 20 is also we are storing into the y. So 10 is storing into the x, so x will hold as a 10 and y will hold as a 20. So you can create here empty box as well firstly, and after that you can store any number inside the variable. So rules for naming variables. Rules 10. Names must begin with a letter or underscore. No spaces allowed. The sensitive. So you can see capital A age is there and small a is there. So which is not equal to each other. And also you cannot use the reserved keys like int or return before, you know, naming the variables. So you can't write as int x. You know, it's wrong. You cannot write as a return y. It's wrong. Now, scope of variables. So it is very much, we need to give so much focus onto the scope because there are two types of variables into that, local and global. So local variables live inside a function. Nobody outside can touch them. It means whenever the function initializes, we initialize those local variables inside that, and end of the function, it would be there. For global variables, it live outside all functions. It means it stays till the whole program is there. So if you're seeing here, if we have defined a function void main, it is outside the void main, so it's a global one. If it inside the void main, going for int I equal to 10, it's a local variable. It means it is within the this main function. It is not outside the main function. That's why it is local variable. And if it is outside this main function, it means this int g is equal to 5. It's a global variable. So which one do you think is safer, global or local? So think about it. Any clue? Okay, I'll come out. Okay. So local, why local? Because global can be modified accidentally anywhere. So please keep in mind, okay, when you are defining the variable, prefer the local variable because it is inside the function and it cannot modify outside of the function. And when you are writing the code, so please keep in mind this is very good practice to write local variables inside the function. If you are defining the global, it is very much uh, incident can happen. The value of those variables can change accidentally anywhere. So because there are thousands of line code, you are not knowing for which value you have to find the same variable there. So that's the issue for global one. So in that case, storage classes. So lifetime of variables also we say this one, and also storage classes we tell. Okay, into see the same name we follow. So four types of there: auto, static, register, and extern. Okay, so in that case, auto. If you are seeing here, the scope of auto is local. Okay, so the scope of auto is local here. It stores inside the function. Default value is garbage value, and the memory location is RAM, and it just is lifetime till the end of the scope. whichever the scope is there. For static, it defines by the AUTO. Okay. Static, it retains value between function calls. Means it remembers its value across function calls, all the function calls. So its scope is also local. Default value is 0 here, and memory location is RAM, and it also stays till the end of the program. So it's defined as a static. Coming to the register, it is stored into the CPU register for fast access. So we can, it is much more faster to access those value from the register. Its scope is also local. Default value is garbage. Memory location is register in CPU or RAM, and its lifetime also till the end of the scope. Coming to the, so we also define as a register. So coming to the external part, it's shared between the different files. So that's the best thing of external. If you can use those variable outside of that file as well. So scope of that external is global. Default value is 0. Memory location is RAM, and it is still lifetime means till the end of the program. So this we I read. So this we verify external. So I think you got the whole picture here. So please always keep in mind about the storage of the classes. So in if you are going for the embedded or IoT interview, so interviewer would be asking this question, same question, and this a repetitive question you will be seeing about this storage classes or lifetime variables. Okay. Now data types in C. So how many data types are there? If you're seeing integer is there, okay, and float is there, character is there, double is there. Integers value is 1, 2, 3, 4 negative value, and float is decimal value. Character is the alphabetical name A B C D E F G S like that. It's a single character we say. Double is large decimal numbers are there. If you are going for the signed versus signed type modifiers, so signed int is stores both positive and negative numbers. Unsigned it only positive but with double the range. It stores only means more than zero. It's not less than zero. Okay. So short, if you're seeing here, right? In that case, I will write this one. What is signed one? So signed if A is equal to minus 10. Unsigned will be equal to 300. So here you are seeing it's a positive, it's negative, we can define it. Okay. So modifiers like short and long let you expand or shrink the box. It's useful when memory is tight. So that's why there we use the short or long there. Okay. So we can find or shrink the box of the size using those short and long there. So if you're seeing here, type, tip, tip, typical size, signed range, and signed range. Signed character is 1 byte. It ranges from minus 128 to 127. Unsigned character is also 1 byte and it lies between 0 to 255, and short is 2 bytes. So you are seeing, so length has been increased for this minus 32,768 to 32,767, and unsigned short is there. It's also a 2 bytes, so it's positive if you're saying, because it's on side we have written it ranges from 0 to 65,535. Int is having 4 bytes here, so it ranges from minus to more than that. You can do. Unsigned it is also 4 bytes there, vice versa. Okay. So coming to the int 8 underscore t, if 8 is written there, it's the 8 bit. If you're seeing again for 16, it's a 16 bit. For 32, it's a 32 bit written here. Okay. So you have to see this mainly focus. So basically we use these parameters into the embedded C always. Okay. Because because there is a lack of memory. We are having less memory into the controller side, so we need to be very much careful when we are storing some variable. Okay, so that's why this type we can declare into the embedded C. So type casting, what is type casting? Sometimes we need to convert one type to another type. That is casting. You know, so so there are two type of casting: implicit and explicit. So so that conversion happens, compiler does it automatically. On explicit is manual by program. It means you do the forcefully. So this is what forcefully. Okay. So you have defined as a float a by b. So you are converting as a float. If you want to convert as integer, you can write as int here in place of float. Okay. So and if you're seeing here, this is automatic type of conversion, and also float. If you're seeing, we are storing 2 into the b here, and int as a b, we are dividing a by b, so it's a implicit. Okay, because it is automatically conversion is happening, and here whatever the a by b is coming, so we are enforcing here as a float value. Okay, so this is explicit. So uh, so the way of defining this before variable, you need to define this before. So float a. So this is what explicit. So size of operator. So in that case, want to know how big your box is, how big your variable is. So we use size of operator there. So if you're seeing how we can get it, this is the syntax size of to get the size of int here. So on most of the cases, integer size of int is 4 bytes, character is 1 byte, and float is 4 byte in most of the cases. Okay, for integer. It is important when writing the portable code. So it is very much important to that. Now coming to the enumeration. Enumeration make your code readable by giving names to numbers. So if you are seeing here, enum we have defined, right? Enum week 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in place of 2, if you are defining today is equal to 2, so what has come? So Wednesday. Okay. So it's very much easier to understand because you have defined 2 as a number to some kind of name here. So it has come as a Wednesday. Okay. So so here is the example of the program. Uh, what int of the is we have defined. Okay, you can try at your own into the C debug the compiler there. So pi is there. Okay, and this character is there. So character we have defined into single quotation. Okay, and unsigned int count 100 also we have defined. And if you are running here for age, we you define as a %d. Okay, if you are printing the value for 5, percent F, grade, percent C, count, percent U. So for the next line, you use the slash n. Okay, if you're seeing here, so you these things would be printing into the slash n. So into the print, if you're seeing whatever you want to print here, printf, use the printf, then double quotation, and then whatever you want to print, you can print, and whatever the variable you are going to use, write it after double quotation comma, then that variable name and that variable type you need to define here. Okay, so that's the thing you always keep into mind while printing anything related to the integer, float, character. It means string you will later on study, and then after the inside integer, signed integer, any kind of variable. Now coming to the constants versus variable. So just now we have studied about the variable. So variable inside the variable you can change the values during the execution, but for a constant value you can't change. You will be you can't change this value because it will always uh, store this value into the pi variable. So here const you have defined here. So in that case, this the value of pi would never change while execution of the code as well. Okay. So fun fact is, one thing I will tell you, using the constant avoid bugs. Imagine if someone accidentally changed the value of pi in your program. What will happen? So, so try it about it. Okay. Try to change the const value, play with these variables, how it is happening. Okay. You will be getting much more. So these are the basics uh, of the variable part, data types, and about the variables. Now let's wrap it, wrap up. So summary what we have studied till now in this lecture. So variables are boxes of data. Okay. And data types are the kind of data those boxes hold, and the scope are where the boxes lives. And lifetime, how long it lives. So we have studied about the type of modifiers, casting enums, and more controls. And also we have also studied about all the uh, data types of C. So question for you, what variables type would you use for person's phone number? Think about that. So comment your answer below. And also in the next lecture, we will explore more about this. So the logic that makes programs think. So that's, control structures in C. That would be all about. Thank you. Thanks.